What's up, guys? We are back once again, and we're going to be talking about another show that I absolutely love, and we're going to be talking about Family Matters. Family Matters, probably still one of my favorite sitcoms to ever air. One show that will always be very near dear to my heart that I absolutely love to this day. Family Matters was such a great show, and anyone that has never watched this show, you are severely missing out on not only comedy, but you're missing out on just everything, man. I mean, they really I really don't know how to say it, man. I mean, they just did such a great job. Now some of them, they're no longer with us. For example, the one that played the grandmother Estelle, she's no longer with us. The one that played, of course, Myra, who she died so young, man. I mean, she was such a great actress, and she died so young, and that was such a sad thing to see. And the whole premises of this show is you have the main characters who are Harriet and Carl Winslow raising their family in Chicago. Carl plays as a cop, and you got Harriet, who is a stay-at-home mom, and then she does a whole bunch of other stuff. And you got, of course, Laura and Eddie, who are their children. You also had another one who was their third child, but then she got booted from the show, which was very funny. Judy, and she was on there for a while, and then she got booted. And then, of course, they took in their nephew Richie, and they had their sister, or their sister-in-law, or sister, Rachel. And then, of course, you have my main man, Jaleel White, who came as Stephen Q. Urkel, who did not only Steve Urkel, he did Myrtle Urkel, he did original Gangster Dog, Steve's cousin, he did Stefan. So he did a lot of different characters in the show, and this show brought up so many different things, from comedy to not politics to a heavy extent, but to being a cop, to family raising, to a lot of good points of it doesn't matter what you look like to find love, even with your popular, nerdy, or anything of that nature. From a child standpoint, from an adult standpoint, from a kid standpoint, it does. There are some things about race that gets brought up in this show, but it makes very good points. It's not, I would say, shoved down your throat like it is nowadays in TV, and they did it so beautifully that they didn't like shove it down your throat in such a negative manner. And I'm very happy that they didn't do this with this show. And I would love nothing more than this show to come back, but at the same time, I would be very worried about how it would become nowadays to how it was back then. And the way it was back then, it was so, you couldn't help but, there's so many episodes that I love. I mean, one of my favorite episodes of this day is probably with Urkelbot. Even the Christmas ones, the Halloween ones with Steve, where Steve goes to find Laura's doll that she found or lost, and then some of the other things that was in here. Probably when Steve has to save Carl, not only from drowning in ice, but also where he saved him from a heart attack, or where he just destroys Carl's house in so many different episodes. And again, this show was absolutely incredible. I mean, it was just so absolutely incredible, where I have nothing but fond memories. I remember watching this show like religiously all the time when I was little, and I still watch it this day for just a lot of laughs and giggles and to put a smile on my face. And it was one of the top shows when I was growing up, and it still is one of the top shows in my opinion. I think it's just an amazing show all around, from a cop life to a family, fun-filled show, to how it is from how it deals with family or annoying neighbor or kids or being a cop or dealing with any regular life, craziness. And that's pretty much what this was. And I have nothing bad to say about this show. I really don't. I mean, the show is absolutely amazing. Did it have its faults? Yeah, when I got older, some of the things didn't make sense of how Laura and Steve got together, when Laura never really found him interesting or attractive or gave him a chance, and all of a sudden she did, and she wasn't really loyal to anybody. And then how Eddie became a cop, we never get to really see further into that, or how Steve, became an astronaut and decided to come back. And it's like, where would they be today? Where would they be today? And it's really an interesting topic to have. I mean, would Steve be a professor? Would Laura be a model, or would she be a teacher herself, or would she be something in clothing design that she liked to do all the time? Or where would Eddie be at this time? Would he be living on his own, or would he be living in the house still? What would Carl and Harriet be doing? Would they be retired by now? Would they be helping raise their grandchildren? Maybe Steve and Laura had some kids, and one's like her, one's like him, very smart, very nerdy. The other one's very popular. I mean, who knows? And maybe they're living with Carl and Harriet. Something happens. I don't know. I mean, and then what happened to Richie and 3J? What could happen there? And where's Waldo in this point? Where would Waldo be after all these years? What would he be doing? Would he be, a famous chef or something? There's just all kinds of different ideas of where you could go with this show, and where it would be from then to now, and how these characters would progress, and would it make sense? Because again, a lot of shows that they would try to come back as a spinoff does not really work, or they would try to continue it, doesn't always go very well. And I think that they need to be very careful if they do try to bring the show back. Would it make sense? Would the characters make sense? Would they, when they finally if they do finally bring them back, would their characters make sense? That is the most thing. Would it make sense? And again, that's just my opinion, man. But let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments down below. What you guys think of Family Matters growing up? Did you guys even heard of Family Matters? Either way, please let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below if you guys are new to the channel. Obviously, about subscribing, leave a big fat like on the video if you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys